hey my guys, we need to have a chat. I am not going to be the first person that has made a video on this topic, and I'm not going to be the last person that's made a video on this topic. However, I do want to make a video on this topic because I am like so sad at the just rampant hate that is on the internet right now. I can't quite properly put into words how sad it is, and also how angry it is, and how everybody just seems to be missing the point. And I was going to make this video on TikTok because I make mini videos on TikTok, but I don't think 3 minutes is long enough for me to say what I want to say. Everything I talk about the good stuff, but it's also, I think, important to talk about the bad stuff. I think that awareness of hate towards this particular, the LGBTQIA plus community, and the way that this community is treated is just as important as me celebrating, me posting when I'm at Pride, or me talking about good, happy things, I think it's important for me to talk about this because this is also just as important. And I can't go on social media anymore without just seeing people just being so hateful. And I think the thing that also makes all of this so hard to compute is that so much of the hate is coming from from the LGBTQI community. So the first thing that I want to talk about is just the rampant transphobia that is just happening everywhere, and I genuinely am baffled that people don't seem to grasp how easy it is to be respectful of someone's gender. If someone says to you, hi, this is my name, these are my pronouns, this is my gender, you go, cool, thanks for telling me. It's that easy. For those of you that may be on TikTok and have seen about this, the one person that I want to talk about is Dylan Mulvaney, who is lovely and so sweet, who's a trans woman who has been documenting her transition on TikTok. She did a series that was 100 Days of Girlhood, and recently actually had the opportunity to speak with Joe Biden, and advocate for trans people and talk about how trans women of colour is one of the highest demographic of people killed, and the extent of how many trans people are killed and attacked every year, specifically in America, but also everywhere, and that's on the rise, and transphobia seems to be so prominent. And Dylan is amazing and has a platform that she has grown and uses that platform for so many amazing things. And it's just so nice to see. And recently people have been being just absolutely awful to her, and Dylan has handled it beautifully in a way that I could not. She's very well spoken, very eloquent. People on TikTok who are deliberately misgendering her. Caitlyn Jenner, who is a trans woman, deliberately and publicly misgendered Dylan, was awful about a video that Dylan had posted, was just genuinely absolutely siding with people who are anti-trans despite being trans. And I just what are you doing? This is what Caitlyn Jenner needs to remember, is that she is protected by wealth, power, money, and a position which makes her so set apart. The way that she transitioned is completely different to 99.9% of other trans people looking to transition. Obviously, Caitlyn Jenner struggled with her gender and went through all of that. Not saying she didn't, of course she did. She's spoken about it. Most trans people do not have the money or the wealth or the ability to have the healthcare that Caitlyn Jenner had. And now she's transitioned, she's had these surgeries, she's had all of these things. Not that surgeries make you a woman or surgeries make you a man. If you're a trans man, trans woman, surgeries, you know, it's whatever you are comfortable with in your body. And that is also what she needs to remember, is that not every trans person wants to have the same level of surgery that she has had. Like, that doesn't make them any less a woman than she is. Like, that's not how that works. And I think lots of people also need to remember that. This is a side note, but I'm going to go on it. There could be two trans women. One of them could have all the surgeries possible and the other one could have no surgeries. Doesn't make a difference. It's what they are comfortable with and what they want with their bodies. But the other thing that Caitlyn Jenner needs to remember is that she has the wealth to afford those surgeries when she could. Like, she could just go, yeah, I want this one, here you go. Most people can't do that. Most trans people can't do that. There are waiting lists, there are financial situations, like there's an entirely different level of getting to the point that you want to get to. And she needs to remember that there will be things that a lot of trans people struggle with when it comes to surgeries and finances and waiting lists that Caitlyn Jenner would have never have had to even think about. I don't understand why she is on this side where she is then attacking other trans people for how they are trans and their transness. Like, what are you doing? Like, look at what you are doing. Look at yourself. Look at the things that you are saying. Look at the way that you are being. And can you not see that it is just so hateful? Like, deliberately misgendering someone is... And I've seen so many people on TikTok doing the same thing, deliberately misgendering Dylan. And I just think, like, we need to just... I don't understand why people find it so difficult, or not. It's not even that they find it difficult, they are deliberately being assholes, that they want, like, someone is just like, hi, this is my name, these are my pronouns, these are my genders, and your initial response, like the response that you actively choose to pursue, is hatred. What type of person are you that is the response that you are going for? Like, I saw one woman on TikTok, and I couldn't care about her username, and I couldn't care what the video, like, who she is. I have no desire to find the video, I have no desire to bring any light to her, but I saw this one video in which she said that Dylan was appropriating her gender. And it's like, first of all, you have no clue what appropriating actually means. And also, like, it's not a threat. Like, there's no threat, there's no offence there. So the actual definition of appropriating is you take something for one's own use, typically without the owner's permission. Cool. First of all, not a single person owns being a woman. It doesn't belong to one person. There are lots of women in the world. Dylan is a woman, and this woman that was making this video is also a woman. Dylan being a woman does not take away from the fact that she is also a woman. Like, why do people find that so hard to grasp? Like, someone being like, hi, I'm trans, I'm a trans woman, does not then immediately erase the existence of cis women. Like, what? Like, why do you think that that's the case? Dylan is so sweet and so lovely and using her platform for wonderful things, so you should definitely go give Dylan a follow. I'm going to talk about J.K. Rowling. Now, I haven't spoken about J.K. Rowling on my YouTube channel. If you've been on my YouTube channel for a while, you will know that I used to make loads of videos about Harry Potter, and I used to be a huge fan of Harry Potter. It was my life for so many years. Even now, it is still the reason why I have so many of my friends that are in my life, even if Harry Potter is not something that we talk about or do anymore, but do Harry Potter, but we don't go to the things that we used to do and stuff anymore. But and I can't pretend that I didn't, like, I'm not going to be like, I never liked Harry Potter in the first place, because I did. It was a huge thing for a long period of time, and it was really difficult to go on and the internet and see J.K. Rowling being hateful. But my nostalgia is not more important than the lives and the existence of trans people. Like, I don't make videos about it anymore. I don't talk about it anymore. To be fair, I barely engage with it because I don't want to support something which is so then supported in, like, so run. Like, she is the creator. She's the main creator of something which causes so much hate and harm to so many people, and to so many people in a community that I am part of. Like, I'm not doing it. So I haven't really spoken about J.K. Rowling because I don't really want to bring light to her. I don't really want to acknowledge that she exists, because why should I? Like, she doesn't deserve any type of like publicity or any, like, she just doesn't deserve it. I'm making this video because I've wanted to make this video for a while, I think, and everything's just kind of bubbled up, and she is a problem. For those that don't know, Nicola Sturgeon is the first minister of Scotland, which is part of the United Kingdom, which is where I live. I live in the United Kingdom, so Scottish politics is on my TV quite a lot, because we see what's going on in the places that are in the United Kingdom. And Nicola Sturgeon has proposed a gender recognition legislation. I've written notes of what it is, and I've got stuff on my iPad, that's what I'm going to be looking down, which is then easier for people to be legally recognised as their gender and broaden the official definition of what transgender means. And also it makes it easier so you don't need a set medical diagnosis, which is really hard to get because there's a lot of medical paperwork involved with that. So it basically makes it a lot easier for people to apply to change their gender legally. As of right now, it's actually quite difficult. It takes a lot of time. You need a lot of paperwork. There's a lot involved with it. And you do need a medical diagnosis, which is a huge thing to get if you think about current NHS wait times and like the actual resources available for trans people, like, let alone just general wait times specifically for that. So this is actually a really good thing. Nicola Sturgeon said, this bill is about an existing process that is degrading and traumatic for trans people, seeking to make it less traumatic for those who want to legally change their gender. So just to make the whole thing a lot easier. And J.K. Rowling turns to Twitter with a t-shirt that says Nicola Sturgeon, destroyer of women's rights. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, Nicola Sturgeon just actually improved the rights of so many people whilst not taking any rights away from cisgendered women. Like, no rights have been taken from anyone there. It's just more were added to help a minority group of people with something that can already be really traumatic and stressful. That's what's happened. No rights have been destroyed or taken away. I don't know what planet J.K. Rowling thinks she's on, but I don't think we're on the same one. I don't understand it. Like, coming onto Twitter, like, it's just nasty. Like, it's nasty and it is cruel. She comes onto Twitter to say things, to deliberately, to intentionally come onto Twitter to attack a specific group of people. And I don't understand it, and I don't understand why she has people following her. Like, no rights have been taken away from women by making there be more rights for trans people. That's not what has happened. I honestly don't understand what is so hard for TERFs and transphobic people to, like, actually comprehend in their brains. Like, what are you doing? Nicola Sturgeon came back, and the reason why I want to talk about this particular thing is because I think this is exactly the point that so many people are missing, and by people I mean transphobes. People said to her, oh, J.K. Rowling posted this, and she said, it is men who attack women, and we need to focus on that, not on further stigmatising and discriminating against the tiny group in our society that is already one of the most stigmatised. We don't have to look very far to see the real threats to women's rights right now. They come from men who sexually and violently attack women, who try to abuse women in a misogynistic way. They come from lawmakers in parts of the world trying to take away our reproductive rights and access to abortion. They come from places in oppressive regimes in places like Iran, where we are seeing women rise up admirably right now. These are the threats to women's rights, and feminists should focus on them, not trans women who are not the threat to women's rights. That's exactly it. If J.K. Rowling, if all of the TERFs and the transphobes of the internet bounded together to put as much energy into all of the oppressive bills and women's rights that are being taken away, maybe they would do some good rather than just sort of shouting at their screen and causing a lot of harm. Like, a lot of harm. Trans people are killed at an awful, awful rate. And no, like, they're not the threat. They're like, trans people are not the threat. I think the biggest thing that I hate about all of this is that they hide this. They try to mask this hatred and this cruelty in, well, it's my opinion, and it's to protect women's rights. First of all, it's not an opinion, it's hate. I don't care what anybody says. Hate is not an opinion. If your opinion is to oppress and seek to remove rights from a minority group of people, that isn't an opinion. That is hate. That is straight up hate. Fuck off. Secondly, you're not protecting women's rights because trans women are women, and you're not protecting them, and you're not doing anything for them. So basically, what you're saying is just bullshit, isn't it? So yeah, trans people existing does not erase your existence. You both exist together, and that's fine, isn't it? It's as easy as that. I just hate the amount of hate that I'm seeing online for trans women, for trans men, for non-binary people, the way that people are being treated, the way that pronouns are just being completely disregarded. Like, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Honestly, feel like people like J.K. Rowling shouldn't be allowed a platform anymore. Like, I think, like, the stuff that she spreads and the people that she supports and the people that she has, like, on Twitter, the amount of following she has and the stuff that she says, I just feel like she shouldn't be allowed to be posting. Like, I don't understand why it's not more monitored. Like, it's just, no. The next thing we're going to talk about is something that I have seen too many times. The first time was time enough, and it's happened multiple times since. That, my friends, is assuming someone's sexuality. Because do you know what? We're not going to do it, because no one on this earth owes you their sexuality. Funny how that's such a basic thing, basic concept, and yet so many people don't seem to understand it. This actually happened with Becky Albertalli a few years ago. Becky Albertalli is an author. She wrote Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, Leah on the Offbeat, Kate in Waiting, Yes, No, Maybe So. Author, brilliant. She's so lovely, and she was told multiple times that she couldn't write queer books because she wasn't queer, and she was harassed, like bullied constantly by the internet because everyone was like, you're straight, you shouldn't be writing these books. Like, bullied, harassed, all these horrible things were said. And Becky Albertalli was then forced to come out as bisexual before she'd told everyone in her actual personal life, and before she was ready to. She had to come out because that was the only way to stop people from just being as awful as they were being. It's happened to other authors. It's happened to even people that make YouTube videos. Even it's happened with people in regards to like blackmailing them. It's happened to people. They felt like they've had to come out. When I've made videos before, not even on the same scale, it's a tiny scale, but when I've made videos before about queer books, I've had comments like, why are you talking about these books? I've seen a lot of people today online say it's happened to them, and the reason why I've seen a lot of people say it's happened to them today is because Kit Connor, who plays Nick in Heartstopper, was forced to come out today. I think it was last night, actually. I saw it this morning, but I think it was last night. He was forced to come out as bisexual today. And he'd said before that, like, he was just happy not with a label. He didn't really do labels. And people just couldn't leave it alone. So this whole thing has, like, multi layers to it. So I think what it was is that he was allegedly seen holding hands with a girl. And that means he's straight, apparently, because the only sexualities that actually exist are gay and straight. So people took to then say that he was queer baiting, which, first of all, is something that happens in things that are fictional. So, like, you queer bait in, like, media. Real people can't queer bait. What are you on about? And there was like a petition to remove him from Heartstopper, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? So that happened, and Kit was forced to come out and came out as bi. So also, first of all, everyone assuming his sexuality based on who he was seen with is completely erasing every other sexuality. Like it's incredibly biphobic. It's offensive to so many sexualities. And since he's come out, I've seen other posts like, he's just faking it though. Like, just get off the internet, go and touch some grass. Yeah, so that happened. So that's like one part of it, is that it is incredibly biphobic and just awful. The second part is like, it's none of your business. Like, who people are dating, their sexuality, any of that, it's none of your business. Like, it is literally nothing to do with you. There is no part of that which he owed to you, to anyone. His sexuality is his, and when he wanted to come out, if he ever wanted to come out, because he would have never had to if he didn't want to, that is that moment, and no one deserves to have that moment taken away from them. And I'd seen a few people congratulating him today, and I don't even think like that's the right thing, like, because he didn't come out on his own terms. This isn't a thing, this isn't something that should be celebrated. None of this is okay. Like, none of this situation is okay. When it's whoever it's happened to, when it's happened all throughout these years, it's not okay. I cannot believe it is still happening. He is 18 years old. He turned 18 this year. He is a kid, and he had to go onto the internet at 18 and tell people his sexuality when he clearly didn't want to and was forced to come out. I just hope that he gets the time and the ability, like, he has that time to process the way that he deserves to, rather than just it constantly being like this. So we're gonna stop doing that. The internet is going to stop doing that. Like, fandom, I have been on the internet for probably too long. Fandom is supposed to be a fun thing, and there's always been moments in fandoms that have been just like so toxic and gross, but people just seem to be being so entitled and so like it's scary actually seeing it now, and seeing how far it's escalated. He's a kid, he's 18. What are you doing? Like, I hope that anyone that contributed to any of that has a moment to just think about what has happened here, because no, it's not right. It's not right. Yeah, so the internet's a really fun place to be right now. I just think we need to just leave people alone. Stay in your lane. Stop trying to pass off your hateful and cruel comments as an opinion, because I can't get my head around, but it's everyone's opinion as a concept, because I can't grasp the concept that you can justify, I don't think these people deserve to exist or deserve basic human rights, as an opinion. Like, oh my god. I don't really know the purpose, like, of why I'm making this video. I have a few thousand people that watch. Yeah, like, I have a few thousand subscribers. I have a platform. I talk about LGBTQIA stuff a lot, because it's obviously a big part of my life. I recommend books. I, talk about the fun stuff, and there's just been so much hate. And it's really difficult to see. Like, it is really hard to go online and see the way that the LGBTQIA plus community is treated, to see news from around the world and to see there be rises on hate crimes and deaths and like just the whole world attitude, to see rights being taken away, to see like the concept that equality laws could be stripped, and to see that people who like just deserve basic human respect and rights and dignity aren't being allowed that, and that people are allowed to be hateful and get away with it because it's an opinion. I don't understand it. It just feels like we're going so backwards. Understand, it's terrifying to live in a world where you think at any moment the rights you have could be taken away from you. That privacy is not granted, that everyone should know, that people won't respect you, that people's views on you can change. Like, it's genuinely really scary, and I thought that we'd made more progress than it seems that we have, and I thought that the world was doing better than it seems to be doing, but it just seems to be so hateful right now. I hope that people can still find like solace in the good areas of the internet and the good LGBTQIA plus community areas. I would really just like people to think before they're hateful. If you're going to be hateful, why, and to look into yourself before just like being so hard, causing what could be irreversible harm to someone. And I will try and continue to make good like content with good news and good things and happy things, and I would really love it if you've seen a good LGBTQIA plus story recently, like a news story or news article, or if you yourself have good news and something you want to share, leave that in the comments and we'll make it a happy thing. But yeah, I wanted to say something. I don't really know, I feel like I'm sort of talking to the void, but it's just getting a bit much, isn't it? The way that everybody is, how so many people just ignore it, and I feel like everyone needs to stop ignoring it and actually listen to how hateful everyone's being. I hope you're doing well, and I hope that you are okay and keeping well and keeping safe and are good. Everything will be in the description as per usual, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.